show you how to create this flower tonight. It's so easy, guys. It's so simple and easy. It does require a needle and thread. And you know, there are some flowers that we make that don't require a needle and thread in the Fabric Fan Club. There are things that we make sometimes. I call them fabric fun workshops where we don't really need any stitching. But I wanted to do a flower petal that needed some just very easy stitching because I want you to all get over your fear of threading that needle and stitching with it. Okay. I want you to get over that fear. It really is a fear for some people, and I want you to get over that. So that's what we're going to jump into tonight, just to give you a little taste of making things. I love to make things out of fabric. I'm a crafter, I'm a maker at heart. So I am like all in for that kind of stuff. Right? I just love it. So, yes, I'm just hand stitching, no machine stitching, just hand stitching. And I have a couple pieces of fabric here tonight. This is the one that I put my name on, but I already had it on my table. So I'm like, well, okay, let's use this. I've got some swatches of fabric here. And let's see, let me make sure this one hasn't been, yeah, that one's been cut into a little bit. So let's fold this one this way. Okay, so what you need to create this flower tonight, okay, what you need to create this flower tonight is going to be a circle. It's just a circle. And if you have punches, you could punch a circle out of cardstock or something. If you have access to a laptop, or there's clip art circles that you can create, and you can also go old school and just trace something that makes a circle. And so these are a couple that I punched. Now each circle is going to create one petal. So we just need a template, but how many circles of fabric we need will depend on how big we want our flower to be, okay? And sometimes that depends on how big the circle is. So I love this size. This is a little small size. This would make a really cute little flower. You'll see that in a minute. This one's a little big, but if I wanted to make a big flower, this could be really cute. Our petal is going to be more like 1/4 of this circle in the end. Okay, so I actually think this would be a really fun one, and it's going to be an easy one for you to see and kind of understand how this works. So I'm going to grab another piece of paper here because I do want to show you that it doesn't matter the size. Okay, I mean, it does matter in the sense that you don't need it has to be this many inch of a circle, right? Like it can be whatever you want. I'm going to take this red paper here. This is just a scrap piece of paper, and I've got this cute rickrack on this little wooden spool. So I just want to show you that you can even trace out a circle. Okay, you can trace out a circle. So you can trace one to be your template. It really doesn't matter. The bigger the circle, the bigger the flower petal. Okay, let me see. These might actually be really close to the same. Oh, they are very close to the same. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I kind of like laying this onto layered pieces of fabric. I have, this is folded fabric, so it's multiple layers. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in, this is my friction pen. Remember learning about the friction pen? It disappears with heat. So I kind of like that. So I'm going to draw one there. And then this one's also kind of layered up. It's kind of fun to do this because then you don't have to do every single circle. You don't have to go in and trace every single circle. Now, this flower could also be made out of felt. So really any kind of fabric, felt, any kind of fabric. So now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut around this swatch of fabric. Okay, so this is layers of fabric. I've only had to trace it out once. And now I'm just going to cut out my circles. And this is great to do. Fabric, wool felts would be really great for this. Craft felts, I'm not as crazy about craft felts. I just like to use them under my fabric. We don't need that tonight. Let's see how many how many circles we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're probably going to need one more. I think actually, let's go ahead and do 2 more. Let's do 2 more because that's what this little section is right here. So that's just a little tip, just showing you can layer up your fabric and cut these out. They don't have to look super perfect. They really don't. And again, I like that kind of thing too. I like things that are just easy, right? So now I'm going to just cut these 2 circles. I'm going to make sure that we have enough. We're going to see. This is something kind of fun because we can just grow this as much as we want to grow it. And you'll see that in a minute. Now, I'm using the same fabrics for these, but I'm telling you, these flowers are super cute if you just use your random scrap fabrics. If every single petal is something different, they look adorable, okay? They really, really, really look adorable. So just want you to think about that. It's a great kind of a use for just your scrap fabrics. And I kind of have this motto, and you might want to put this motto down on your creative goal setting sheet at the top. I don't know what it is about me, but here's my motto: no scrap left behind. I don't like to leave the scraps behind. It's good fabric. It's something that I could make something out of. So no scrap left behind. That's one of my little creative mottos, whether it's fabric, paper, napkins, whatever it is, because there's just so much fun things we can make out of our scraps. And I love to kind of challenge myself to do that, to make something out of those scraps. All right, so we got a bigger circle this time. Let's see how many layers we got out of this one. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 again. So we need 2 more. I'm just going to go ahead and cut a whole nother section here out of this one. This is fabric from some past bundles. So I've had it for a while. It's a great, again, a kind of a great thing to do. If you have some scrap fabric that you don't have just that much left, just cut circles out of it. There's so many things we can make out of the circles. Okay. And you're going to also learn in the Fabric Fan Club, there's a few other shapes that are really nice to cut out of your scraps, and then just put them in a little cute little bowl or a cute little, bucket or tin or something. And then you'll have them at the ready when you're ready to create with something out of them. Okay, so no scrap left behind. Okay, we'll get these done. These are going to be so cute. You're going to love them. There's actually 2 kinds of flower petals that you can make from these circles. So let me move this fabric kind of over here out of the way. And here we go. So I do think they look best when they're all the same size circle. Okay. Now that doesn't mean there are some kind of fancier versions of this where you can layer up different sizes and all of that, but we're not going to do that tonight because I want to show you the simplicity of this. Okay. You're right, Connie. Is it Connie? No, it's Chris. You're right, Chris. Sometimes it can be a problem when we try to save too much. So this is something that I'm going to help you with though in the group, because no, we don't need to be saving. I mean, we need to save usable scraps. And to me, the best thing to do with those usable scraps is turn them into something. Cut them all down into the same size square. Cut them down into the same size circle. Then we're keeping things that we can build off of, right? Rather than all these random sizes of just random fabric and random stuff. Okay. So if we can turn those scrap fabrics into something that we can build from, then you're you're keeping something that's all kind of the same, right? The same size, the same everything. And it just makes us actually use the stuff. We can actually use those scraps because we're turning them into something we can actually make from or build from. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Your kitty likes watching. Aw, that's so sweet. Okay. So now we have some circles here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and use, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use black thread again, just because I want to make sure it shows up well on camera. And so remember, I'm going to pull, kind of double my reach. Remember that. These don't need to be too terribly long, but I am going to use a double thread. I always use a double thread unless I'm doing like some doodling with thread on something that's very delicate and it just needs one strand. So that's a whole nother subject. So I'm going to show you again how I don't thread my needle. I needle my thread. So you can see I've got here, I just need one. I've got one little tip. You can kind of see it showing between my thumb and my finger here. And I'm going to take my needle to the thread. But one thing I did not do, it's always good to make sure you have a good fresh cut. I'm sorry for my sniffling. And then you just bring the needle to the thread. And to me, that is so much easier. Did anybody try that today? I hope somebody gave that a try today. Yeah, you can get the snips from us. The little snips here, we do sell them in my shop. I have an online shop for some of my favorite supplies and things. So yes, and you can go to that shop at shop.misstraceycreates.com. That's how you get there, shop.misstraceycreates.com. And they're called snips, SNIPS. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off. I have the tails right here. I pulled my needle all the way to the middle of the thread. So I only thread it, one strand goes through, right? And I pull the needle to the middle. I'm going to hold these tails over the needle. I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3 times, point to the ceiling. Take these 2 fingers and pinch over everything that I just wrapped. And then I'm just going to keep my fingers together. I'm going to push my needle through, keep my fingers together all the way to the end. And I wind up with this awesome little knot. Okay, this awesome little knot right there. So if you missed that last night, you just got a refresher. All right. I keep feeling like I'm going to sneeze, but I haven't yet. So it'll probably reach out and surprise me here in a moment. Okay, I'm going to let's zoom in the camera here a little bit, because as we do this flower, I want you to see again every step. Okay, I want to make this as easy for you as I possibly can. So I have a circle, okay, of fabric. I'm going to fold this circle in half once, okay, in half, and then I'm going to fold it again. So it's going to wind up looking kind of like a little piece of pizza, right? So let's do that again. The circle, we're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to fold it in half again. And this is what we're going to wind up with. We're going to take our needle and thread now and go up through the corner. This is the cut side. Okay, this is the round side. This is the crust side of the pizza. Okay, you can see these are straight sides right here. Here's the point. This is the side we want to be on. And we're going to do what's called a running stitch. Or some people call this a gathering stitch. You don't always gather a running stitch, but we will be doing that today. So I've pulled it up through, okay? And now I'm just going to kind of gather this thread gather this fabric onto my thread. Do you see that? Can everybody see that? Hopefully the focus is really good there. So just gathering it on. It doesn't have to be the exact same size stitches, none of that. And then we're going to pull the needle through. All right, we're going to pull the needle through. Now you don't have to gather it all up right this moment, okay? Because I want you to see what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like. So it's just running that little gathering through that curved edge of our circle of our pizza. Okay. All right. So let's do it again. All right. We're going to take another circle. We're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to fold it in half again. Okay. Fold it in half again. Now, do you see this? Please don't worry about this. If your circle isn't quite, a perfect circle, sometimes you'll get like this kind of look. It's not going to matter. Okay. It's not going to matter. I'm going to come up through these layers, the back. And again, I'm going to gather my fabric onto my needle on this kind of curved edge. All right, let's look at that again. Very easy. I like easy. And then we're going to string this one along. Whoops. Hold, please. I got something caught where it doesn't need to be caught. You, my friend, got caught up in my thread. So hang on, let me untangle this. I should have paid better attention, but it's okay. This happens sometimes. There we go. So now I'm just going to slide this one down, just kind of slide it down. And I'm just going to keep doing this to add my petals. Okay. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. I'm just going to keep doing it to kind of add my petals in. I think we'll do like 5, and we'll see what size flower that gives us. So again, in half again. Come in through all the layers from the back, and we're going to gather it along that curved side. Make sure you're going through all the layers. And we're going to slide him down here. Okay. So do you see what's happening? This is going to just continue and continue and continue however many petals we want there to be. Okay. Yes, the comments are getting collected. Yes, they are. I did that at the very beginning this time. I didn't forget. And we're only 6 sessions in. All right, I'm just going to keep doing this. This is really fun. This is something, again, you could do with your scraps. You could just do it while you're watching your favorite, TV show, if you're binge watching something on Paramount, Netflix, something like that. If it's a cold, wet day, you're not going to be outside. It's a great thing to do with your scraps. So we're just going to keep them on. Now I'm doing all the same color fabric, but again, like I said, you don't have to. You could alternate colors of fabric. Each one of these could just be its own scrap piece. Really cute. All right, let's do one more, and then we're going to gather it completely, and we're going to see what size flower we've got going on. Now, there's another way to create a different type of petal with a circle too, but I wanted to show you this way first because I think this one is just so easy and fun to do. And like I said, it could be felt. You could do really cute little felt flowers. I love adding felt in with my fabric. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, sorry, I didn't have it all on the screen. Apologies. Okay, so I can take this now, and I kind of like to start at the end first. So look what's going to happen. When I pull that, look, I get this cute little petal. And then we're going to pull this next one. And then we're going to pull down this next one. And do you see what's happening? We're getting this adorable, these really adorable petals. They're going to make such a cute flower. Okay, so let's look at this because right now we have 5 petals here. Okay, I'm going to try to kind of hold it where you can see what that's going to look like. So if we pull this tight, right, we're going to have a 5-petaled flower. And these flowers look so cute with a button in the center, with a bead in the center. They need something cute in the center, a pom-pom even. They're just so super cute. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one stay small like this. So this is how I'm going to connect these. I'm just going to go through, right? You can kind of see I've gathered them all. I'm now going to go down through this side, right? Like here's my thread over here from this one, coming down through this one. And I'm going to pull it really tight. Okay. Just pull it nice and tight. And that's going to bring the center of my flower completely together. Isn't it cute? And if you do, guys, if you do different sizes of circles, then these flowers can nest inside of each other, right? Like you can layer them up. It just depends on, what size you want to make. So now I'm going to take my needle through some of this stuff going on in the back here. And then it's going to create kind of a loop here. And then all I'm going to do is take my needle through the loop. And we're just going to tie this off. I like to do this twice. Usually do this twice on a flower centers. Oops. Let's pull that in. There's my loop. Go through the loop and tie it off. And that just gets you a nice little knot there. So now we can go ahead and just trim this off. And look what I have. I've got this adorable little flower, and I love these. And you can kind of play with the petals some, but I just think these are so cute. Look how cute that is. Now, let's just, for grins, let's look and see what it would look like if we put a little button in the center, right? If you want to stitch a little button in the center, if you want to glue a button in the center, I'm down for that too. I'll glue buttons sometimes. Sometimes I'll just run the thread through them and then glue them on. I don't always stitch it to the flower. But yeah, a button, a little pom-pom. Gosh, what else? We could roll some little twine in there. We could do a bead in there. We could do a pearl. There's just, all kinds of ways that we can do fun centers for flowers. So this is going to help. I hope that this helps you. This was this circle. Okay. Now this is what helps me. Watch this. Okay. So this is the circle size that I used for every petal. So 5, if you do 5, sometimes 6, you're going to know that your whole flower is going to be about, not exactly, but about roughly the size of the circle. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, that means this one, if we do this one, right, it's going to be about the size of this circle. Okay. Do you get it? Okay. So I hope that kind of helps. That's kind of how I judge it. Now, it does depend how many petals I put in the flower. The more petals I put in the flower, the more room I'm going to have, and I'm going to have a slightly bigger hole in the center. That just means I'm probably going to need something a little bigger to cover the center, or that could be a layer in another flower. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that helps. It helped me a lot when I first started making these because I realized, oh, I'm kind of an odd number person. I like odd numbers in flowers. I don't know why. I just do. But if it really doesn't matter. You can put in however many petals you want. Okay. But I do like that kind of gives me an idea. All right, if I'm going to make my circles this big, after I make my petals, about 5 of them or more, it just depends, right? But it is kind of neat to see the correlation there. Okay. So let's look at one of these bigger circles will look like. Okay, let's go ahead and do one of these. I still have enough thread on here. But again, these are things that you can just sit and build and make. You're going to use these fabric flowers at one point or another, or you're going to build them into layers, or you're going to turn them, some flowers we can actually turn into butterflies. But there's all kinds of things that we can make with them. So I'm going to knot my end here. It's the same premise, okay? We're going to go half, fold in half, and we're going to fold in half again. And we are going to go up through all 4 of the little layers there, and we're going to gather, okay? Same thing, this could be felt. I like using the wool felt because it's got such a great, it's thin. The kind that we carry is nice and thin, and it holds so well. It stitches so awesome. Okay, so let's just get this one in here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this one tight just so you can see. Well, first off, let's do it like this. Okay, so you can see my stitches are not the same length. I don't really care. No one's ever going to see them because we're going to gather this petal up. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to gather it up, and then let's just look at the size petal we have now. Okay, this is the size petal we're going to wind up with. Do you see the difference between this one and this one? Do you see how cute it would be if this one laid on top of this one, right? On top of this flower? We could stack them up, we can layer them, we can do whatever we want. But I just want you to see, and then we can kind of tell, okay, how many petals is it going to take, to kind of fill this up? All right. It's such a fun flower to make. And I'd love the fact that I can use up my scraps, right? I can just layer up the fabric. If you have a circle die cut, you could cut through even more layers of fabric if you wanted to. But usually I just kind of, I just trace things. I use my circle punches, because it is fun to have different sizes of circles in your scrap stash, because then you can layer up your flowers, and you have different size flowers. Now, this is not the only kind of flower that we ever make. We make lots of different flowers in the Fabric Fan Club, especially in the spring. As we approach the spring, flowers are just so fun to make. So again, I'm going to pull this in nice and tight. Just want you to see how these are going to look. Isn't that just so cute? Now, I want to show you this too real quick, because I didn't really point this out. Do you see how these petals are kind of scooped up? Okay, so if you want this kind of scooped up look, you can have that, but you can also turn them and you get the opposite look. This opposite look is something I think looks really cute for like sunflowers and things like that. So do you see how you get a different look? You see a lot more of the gathers when they're kind of scooped like this, but it's also cute this way. You still see the gathers, but it's just a different kind of shape of a petal. Okay. Isn't that fun? Yes, this could be bunny ears. Exactly. If I did 3 of these together out of a green fabric, it makes a cute little leaf bundle. It could just make a cute little leaf trio. Okay. There are other things that we can make out of our circles scraps. Okay. So it's just really, really cute. You have to kind of, you have to kind of see past, for some of us, it's hard to see what is it, past the forest because of the trees. But that is something that I love. I love trying to come up with new ideas for kind of the same thing. What else could I make this petal into, right? What else could I do with this? It's really, really fun. Okay. So maybe well, yeah, there's just lots of things. I don't want to, if I keep talking, we'll have a whole brainstormed list here. But that's how easy these flowers are. They're just that easy. Now, there is another way that we can work with a circle. Actually, there's lots of ways that we can work with a circle. But I thought this would be a good one to introduce you to first, because I love the way this flower looks. I love the way this flower looks. I love the way the petals look. I also, like I said, whoops, I lost a corner here. Let me gather this on here and go right back down. There we go. If that ever happens, you just go back down into it. And we're going to slide them along. So, yeah, we just keep sliding, and then you'll kind of figure out, okay, how big do I want my flower to be? How many petals do I want it to be? Is it going to be layered? Am I going to put other layers underneath it? You know, just all those things. And then when you do this with felt, it takes on even its own look. And then you could layer like a fabric flower with the felt flower. You know what I mean? Like there's just lots of fun ways that you can go in and layer these. Okay. Well, Tammy, if you have trouble coming up with ideas, you need to join a creative community. You need to join a membership group like we have, because we all, I mean, I offer as much inspiration as I have, but I promise you the ladies in the Fabric Fan Club are so inspiring, and you'll see them do stuff with fabric that you're like, oh my gosh, what did she just do? This looks amazing. How did you do that? You know, so it's really fun. We actually really inspire each other in this group, and this group of women is just so what's the best word I can describe? Really uplifting, encouraging. They're all so willing to just jump in and help, and they're all extremely creative. And we have different skill levels in there, and it's so nice to see like the veteran stitchers cheering on the brand new stitcher, you know, or the person that's working with fabric for the first time. And we all share tips and tricks and just, you know, different things in there. It really is. It's a great, great group. Okay. It is a great group. So if you're interested in learning more fabric fun ideas, building and making things with fabric, creating, you never know what we're going to create. I really love making things with fabric. We might be doing, I'll have to share some pictures, but we do some pretty amazing things. And some of the things are functional pieces, and some of the things are more decorative pieces. I've already mentioned how we really love to do covers. And this is a cover that I didn't show you yesterday. Let me back this camera out a little bit. This is one I didn't show you. This one, I think a lot of people get intimidated by this book cover. I'm going to open it up just so you can see. It's like a little travel journal. So you can see I have my notes in here. I have doodles in here because I doodle a lot. But these just slip in. They just slip in and slip out. So as I fill up a book, I can just slide another one in. But this one, when it's closed, you see half a butterfly. Well, when it's open, you see a whole butterfly. Now, I know that this looks intimidating, but if you look really closely, let's look really closely at this wing of this butterfly. Look, yes, we had a template for this large orange part of the wing. We had a template for this red fabric part of the wing. And then we had templates for these three little pieces that are inside. Okay. So you're just kind of building in. We're kind of like making our own little applique or our own little thing. And you can use different stitches then, you know, whatever stitches you want. You can freestyle, right? We're doodling with thread. I have some French knots up here. When you really start breaking it down, the piece by piece is actually easy. It's just when you look at something all together like this, you're like, oh my gosh, I could never do this. I could never do this. And I'm telling you, when you do actually do something like this, look, these are shapes too. This is a star shape. This is a hexagon right here. I'll show you over here. Here's one that shows up really well. Hexagon. Those are fun. I love using shapes and things like that. But when you do actually create something with us in the Fabric Fan Club, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I did it. Like I did it. I can do this. And it's very empowering when we break it down into small steps, small parts and pieces. And then before you know it, you're making awesome, wonderful fabric creations. And that is what has happened to new people in our group. We have people that are just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found you. I wasn't sure if I would like this, and I absolutely love it, you know, and they're just enjoying it. I mentioned this before yesterday, that honest to goodness, right? Truth. I'm a truth teller here. Hand stitching to me, this freestyle stitching, this doodling with thread, it is one of the most relaxing things that I do. I can sit. I'm one of those people that I have trouble just sitting still. I need my hands to be doing something. But if I'm just sitting and folding circles, and gathering them up, right? I can be doing that while I'm watching a show. I can be stitching on something before I go to bed. I stitch a little bit every night before I go to bed because it just relaxes me. It calms me and I'm able to fall asleep easier. And you know what else a very good side effect is most of the time if you snack a lot at night, it's just because you're bored and your hands need something to do. I'm telling the truth, you guys. If you're sitting there just stitching and stuff, then you're not snacking, okay? Because your hands are busy. Most of the time, if I'm snacking, it's not because I'm hungry. It's because my hands need something to do. I can't keep them still. So, and yes, definitely, Adeline, that's so true. If any of you out there are struggling with using your hands, right? Um, please don't stop using your hands because when you stop using them, you're going to lose whatever mobility you have in them. You're going to lose whatever strength you have in them. You've got to keep working your hands, and that's going to be so good for you. So anybody out there that's kind of struggling with joint pain, maybe arthritis is starting to set in, keep your hands moving. Keep your hands moving, and that's going to allow you to keep strengthening those muscles and those joints and keep them moving. Because the second you stop, man, those terrible joint diseases and things like that can really just take over, and you're going to lose that mobility. Okay, so it really is. It's good for all of us. It's a good, what do they call that? A motor skill or whatever. It's even good for our brain. It just makes me feel good. I enjoy fabric. I actually love it. I love fabric. In fact, when we ship our bundles out, the way I have kind of our classes and our projects staggered in the group is you'll get your new bundle before we're finished with the bundle that came before that. And I have it staggered that way on purpose because I mean, there are a lot of people that are like me. I like to look at the bundle. I like to touch the bundle. I like to see the fabrics. I kind of want to love on it before I cut into it. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I promise I'm not the only one. There are some of you out there going to be like, she's just crazy, whatever. But I promise there are fabric people out there just like me that they just love on that new fabric. You don't want to cut it right away. You want to kind of look at it and love on it and hug it and whatever. I know it sounds silly, but it's the truth. Okay. It is the truth. And so that way they can kind of have that time to kind of look at it, because they're also going to be brainstorming, what can I make out of this? What do I want to make out of this? Right? It gives you that time to kind of live with it a little bit, because you're seeing it for the first time in person. As much as I try to capture what these fabrics really look and feel like on camera, I can't. Same thing with the napkins. There's only so much that cameras can really display to you guys. It's when you get them in person that you're like looking through them like, oh my gosh, this looks so much better in person, right? So I'm excited. I am going to have our live fabric reveal is going to be tomorrow, okay? Our live fabric reveal is going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you can't watch, it's okay, because you can always pop in and watch the replay. Some people in my fabric fan club like to be surprised. So this is your spoiler alert. If you don't want to see what I'm sending you in January, don't watch tomorrow at 11. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to tell y'all tonight is we had kind of a glitch last night with our email that went out to everybody. So if you didn't get it, please don't panic. Don't worry. I'm going to put the things that were to be in it yesterday. I'm going to add those into tonight's email. Now, I'm not going to give you a template for these flowers because I just don't really feel like you need one. I mean, as long as you can trace a circle, that can become this flower. If you have a circle punch, and again, you can make them whatever sizes you want, from itty bitty to very big. Okay. There is not a waiting list right now for the Fabric Fan Club. Actually, there is a waiting list. But during Create and Connect week, during this premiere week, our doors are open to all signups. So you get to bypass the wait list. You get to bypass the wait list right now during Create and Connect Week. So if you want to come and join us, look how pretty this flower is going to be. So cute. If you want to come and join us, now is the time. You can sign up. We don't run payments until the 3rd and 4th of the month. So January 3rd and 4th is when your first payment will come out. And then we start shipping. Sincerely Sweet is the name of the next bundle, and it is very sincerely sweet. We start shipping that one on January 8th. Okay, it'll start shipping out. So we'd love for you to come and give this a try. It really is so much fun. And like I said, I do several different projects out of the bundles, mainly because we're all different. You're all going to like, somebody's going to like one project better than someone else. I try to give you variety. I don't expect you to make every single project that I ever show you. I don't expect that. If you're trying to do that, then you're going to get burned out. I want you to just pick and choose your favorites and make them, and know that, yes, if there does happen to be a month where you're like, I want to make every single one of these, well, then just time it out. This isn't boot camp. This isn't stitching boot camp. I want you to relax and enjoy the process. And remember, you're going to have access to all of these workshops as long as you're a member of the group. Okay. So we have some people that started on some Christmas projects that they didn't get done by this Christmas, but it's okay, because they're going to be way ahead by next Christmas, because they're going to have that Christmas project done. And I have been listening to my members in the Fabric Fan group, and I think that we are going to start on some Christmas projects earlier, things like that. There's some things I'm going to kind of switch up in here, because our projects do take longer, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Some projects are going to go really quickly, and some are going to take a little bit longer. But my goal is for you to just enjoy what you're making. Enjoy the time that you're making things. Don't try to rush yourself, right? I want you to relax and just enjoy it. Okay. Yes, Catherine, don't worry if you didn't get an email last night. If you already registered for Create and Connect, we had some glitches last night. I fixed them. We're fixing them. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to double check every link and every download and everything tonight before the email goes out this evening. And I'm going to make sure the things that were going to be in last night's email are in this email. Okay. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You kept rubbing the fact. Well, I got to read this. Okay. Let's read this. Debbie says, I'm the same way. I love on my fabric too. My husband teased me one day in Joann's fabric store. I kept rubbing this velvet fabric, and he asked me what I was going to name it. He said I was petting it like it was a pet. Yep, that's me. I bought some and made a little stuffed dog that I gave to him on his birthday. Aw, you named it Fancy. That is so cute. But it's so true. So yeah, you could do Christmas all year. I think we really could do Christmas all year. I totally agree with you. I really do agree with you. Rebecca says, I make everything I make. Whichever project speaks to me, and I love this group. That's exactly what you need to do. You're going to do the ones that are that just resonate with you, the ones that you want to work on. Or several people in our group make gifts year round, right? So there may be something that we do that you're like, oh my gosh, my daughter-in-law would love this. I need to make this for her, something like that. Okay. So it really is a fun group. It's like I said, it's a group that I will never let go of, because it's therapeutic for me. I have a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure in what I do. I do a lot of things. I'm running my own business. I'm doing all these things. And yeah, it's all wonderful things. And I'm so blessed and thankful that I get to do what I love, right? Like I'm totally blessed by that. But it can get hectic. And this stitching stuff it's my therapy. It is my therapy. So I really, truly love it. Now, while we've been talking, I've been stitching along here. So I want to show you, look, this is 6, but do you see how, to me, this one needs one more? It needs that 7th one. So as your circles get bigger, you're going to use more petals. Okay, so to me, we need one more in here, and this is going to look so cute. I'm going to add one more in here because I do want to layer these up for you just so you can see what they're going to look like. So if you guys have any questions, yeah, I'll keep this group going because, like I said, whether there's 20 people in it or 200 people in it or 500 people in it, this is my therapy, and I believe it's a lot of people in the group. It's their therapy too. Okay. So do you have any questions for me while I finish this last little petal? Any questions at all? Yes, what you receive are designer fabrics. These are good quality designer fabrics, a fat quarter of 6 different types of fabric. Usually twice a year, I surprise my members with the little special something that usually is maybe some panels or something extra in their goodies. Oh yeah, see, that is just perfect right there. And again, I like the odd number. Look how cute that is. So do you see what I mean by when the bigger they get, kind of the bigger that your hole is here? So, but look how cute if we start layering these up. And then we stick a button on it. I know none of my stuff matches right here, but like this is just so cute. It's so fun to just create these scrap flowers, right? Isn't that adorable? So cute. So cute. So we know kind of this size fits about 5 petals. We know this one is about seven petals. I think might even be able to squeeze one more in there, but I like the odd number. Okay. Isn't that fun? So you'll get this bundle of fabric. And if you have been out and bought fabric in the world, you know that fabric has gotten really expensive. It's gotten really expensive. We've been able to keep our fabric group down at a really good number. It's $32 a month. And if you divide that out by your fat quarters, and you consider all of the teaching, all of the workshops, all of our time together in the Fabric Fan Club, the fact that you have access to all these past workshops, not just the future ones, it really is a great, great value. We don't charge any additional shipping unless you're international. And we do have some international folks. If that's you, if you're international and you're like, I want to figure this out. I want to learn about this. Just email us. You can email us at info@misstracycreates.com, and we can kind of give you a shipping quote for your address. And that way you'll know about how much the shipping would be. We do have to charge additional shipping for international orders. But as far as our domestic orders for Fabric Fan Club and Napkin Club, the ones that we ship out, we don't charge additional shipping fees. That's just rolled up into the cost. We can still do that right now. If shipping keeps going up and prices keep going up, we may have to change that. But for right now, we're still at this level. And yeah, there's so much value. If you think about it, if I go out and teach a stitching workshop somewhere live, well, you're probably going to pay anywhere from $45 to $60 just for that one workshop. Right? So it's so cool that I can do this for you online and keep these prices down to where they're more affordable, and we all get to have fun. We all get to have so much fun. So yeah, they'd be really cute, Dee, for your church craft group. They're so cute. They'd be cute. Like I said, they're cute on all kinds of things. We'll put fabric flowers on all kinds of things. We made some really cute, even some cute fabric tulips back, I guess, was that last Easter or the Easter before. They all start to kind of run together in my head, especially right now because I'm taking all kinds of cold medicine. So I'm a little foggy, but we would love to have you. You don't need a sewing machine. Now, some people in our group do, and they may use their sewing machine here and there for things, but no, you don't need a sewing machine. Generally, everything that I'm showing you is by hand. It's all hand stitching because that's what I love so much. Okay.